What will you be working on today?
So, while I was waiting for you, I started on this pull request, the improved section on numeric literals, which was a
Hmm.
bit confusing regarding the complex, regarding the introduction.
Hmm.
So, this one started by saying, uh, yeah, it's the imaginary literals. Uh, there are no complex literals, and then it was a bit confusing, so I tried to make that a bit easier to follow. Let's see, this is reference.
Complex literals. Okay.
Well, imaginary literals,
No comp.
because there are no complex literals. Uh, so the version I have right now is here. Python has complex number objects. Well, complex numbers. Complex number objects is
Yeah.
probably easier, but no complex literals. Instead, imaginary literals denote complex number with a zero real
Yes.
part.
Yes.
Let's see.
So
There's
you can
probably
combine imaginary literals with integer
yep,
literals, and then you get uh,
yep.
complex numbers.
So, for example, in math, the
Uh,
complex number 3.1 plus 4i is written as
yeah.
the real number 3.1 added to the imaginary number 4i. Python uses a similar syntax, except the imaginary unit is written as j rather than I. Here,
Makes sense.
this is an expression composed of the float literal 3.1, the operator plus the imaginary literal 4j.
Although I'm not seeing you typing anything, maybe it's on my side, but
Oh, really?
I see I see your browser and your shell.
All right.
Good. Sorry for the
Let
noise.
me share that again. You're on Discord, right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
this
yeah.
better? Does this update?
Yes, yes, it does.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the YouTube stream was okay. Right. So now looking at the example, that should be changed a bit. The example should be 3 plus 4.2, for example, just so we have just so we have a dot in the j part to follow with the next part. So we switch to 3 plus 4.2j. Now this is an integer literal, so not floating but integers. Integer 3 plus 4.2j. Let's see. I should probably add this to here. Okay, so add the complex number 3 plus 4.2i. It's the number 3 added to 4.2i. Python uses similar syntax here. It's now the integer plus imaginary literal. White space is allowed between them. And the rest is almost the same as the current pull request. There's something about white space. The number has the same syntax as floating point literal, except you can omit a dot. And the j suffixes case insensitive. So you can use capital J, and that should be it. Hopefully that's easier to follow. Rewrite the introduction to imaginary literals for and I made my prompt smaller so I can't see the branch name. Need for pushing. So let's see. So this was reviewed 2 weeks ago. Ready for review. Hopefully it'll be hopefully we'll not get any Sphinx errors.
Yeah.
All right. And now it is time for strings. Since I promised to do at least some of the documentation for F strings, at least the lexical analysis for those. So let me find my branch for that. And that's lex analysis strings. Yeah, so I had lex analysis numbers. And my temporary branch for this is strings. And there's no pull request for that yet. And this is what we did last time. So let me rebuild that. And we have a build error. Perfect. Oh, great. Let me merge in the main branch. Try again. Hopefully the error was fixed in the main branch. Okay. Pigment's Lexer name plain is not known. What? Huh. Well, I'm pretty sure this is a pre-existing error. But it is one we should fix. So, okay, so the proper Lexer name is text for plain text. Okay.
Oh,
Text.
that's its short name, right?
Text. Well, looking at the documentation,
Oh
text
yeah,
like the
short
null
name
lexter
text.
has it's text.
Makes sense.
I guess the long name would be text lexer. You never want to use that.
I mean, it could be kind of convenient if they added plain as another name for text lexer. Yeah, would be cool. Not necessary, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you used an unknown lexer name, you just get a warning apparently, and it gets lexed as plain text, okay. So it actually works. But this should be more correct. And there's one more plain.
All right, it will work because you give this lexer name just for syntax highlighting, right? Or
yes.
So it's kind of, it doesn't matter, kind of. Yeah. Shouldn't, at least. For the text type. The plain text type. Yeah. So that's why you can, like, you can not notice that, even.
Well, there is a warning, so... well, the settings for warnings have been being turned up lately, so I'm sure somebody would fix them if they remained this way. Alright, so anyway, back to strings. And I guess they shouldn't be plain, they should be Python in this case. Right?
Oh yeah.
So interestingly, my editor will highlight this as a comment, because the statement with just a string doesn't do anything. This one doesn't, which is great.
I mean, technically, if it was the only string in the module, it would do something, right?
Yes. Oh, now it's red.
Depending on where you, yeah.
Now it's red, and I'm not sure it should be red. Without any context. Yeah, there's a reason I went for plain text. Now, probably put in a restructure text comment.
Why do you think it should be highlighted? Oh, okay. You're writing that.
Because the string highlight color the strings are in red, or as of this writing.
To me they look green, but I I don't know. I have problems with distinguishing colors sometimes.
Or, well, as of this, writing strings without surrounding code for context.
Are highlighted like errors? Or, yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Oh. Without. Ads just say it doesn't look good to me. Would that work? I guess so. So what I'm going for here is building up to the full grammar, but I think this build up is a bit too long, and I'd like to trim it down, because we have this build up, and then there's, like in the middle, there's string prefixes, which say you can have very many different different kind of strings, and then 2 of them are explained, and then we go to escape sequences, and then on to f strings, and this escape sequences section is kind of long. So maybe the escape sequences here can be removed. I'm still not sure how to structure this. So maybe let me commit change. And what I know how to do now that I've slept on it is this syntax. And what I would like to use in the syntax is negative lookaheads. So let's look at the current documentation, the current language reference and literals. We have this mess, which says string literal is a string prefix plus the string itself. The prefix is listed like this, which is really confusing. The short string can be quote, short string item, quote, or that same thing without with the other kind of quote. Then long string as the triple quoted stuff. Now a short string item can be a short string character, which can be any source character except backslash or new line or the quote. And long string character doesn't have this or the quote. So this is, oh, and the escape sequence is backslash and any source character, right? And formally, the quote is not the correct, is not correct, because you shouldn't use, well, this refers to this or this, right? So the definition of this rule depends on the context, like where this is called from. And that's not the right thing to do in a formal grammar. So if I'm structuring this as, you know, an informal definition, or well, not an informal definition, a formal text definition followed by the formal grammar, I think this should be a little bit more careful about actually being a formal grammar, and we can do that. Another problem here is that the quote is missing from this long string character, right? So formally this long string item could contain this quote and just continue forever, which is of course not what you can do. Any occurrence of these quotes will end the string, right? And this is a bit tricky to encode in a grammar, but we can use a thing that the Python grammar uses, which is a negative lookahead. It fails if something can be parsed without consuming any output. Now this is something that we don't have in our arsenal just yet, but we can just define it in the introduction and use it here. I think it's perfect. I think it would be perfect here. So here we have the string prefix and string content, and the string content can be quote, then string item, and then matching quote. And instead of that, we will list things. So yeah, this is the grammar that we've worked on before. It's not the same thing as we have currently. So we have this, then string items, and then this quote. The same with the other kind of quote.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
The same with the triple quotes.
And double, triple quotes.
Yeah.
So triple, double
quotes.
Yeah.
And now, just so we don't need the to disable like the just so we don't need to list the quote as an exception, in here we'll do a negative look ahead for the quote. And the same here, negative look ahead for this
Oh yeah,
quote.
yeah. Should
Right.
work as a formal definition, yeah.
And this is a formal definition. We kind of cheated a bit by using a syntax element that's not present in EEG grammars, but we're free to define the grammar however we like, right? So the string item is now a string character or a string escape sequence, and a string escape sequence is a backslash and any source character. Now this should
Do we
work.
need to look behind later, like at the end of the string content, after those quotes?
Not really. So this is a bit tricky as well. So you can have a raw string. If you have a backslash at the end of a raw string, that's a syntax error, unterminated string literal, because the backslash, even in a raw string, will consume the quote, as in here. So this is exactly correct. Right, so syntax-wise, or for lexical analysis, raw strings and normal text strings are the same thing, and they kind of get parsed in a later step. Like if I tokenize this, that's a string token, and the token just has the content of the string. And then when that's converted to an actual constant, then it gets interpreted. Right, so this is correct. So the escape sequence can be longer than a single source character. So it can have numbers, hexadecimal numbers, names, and so on. But none of that can include the quotes or the new lines. So we're fine with just special casing on source character. So that would take care of the quote character in these exceptions. Now we need to take care of the backslash, which we can just put in here, and new line. And we need to put the new line back in here.
Does backslash have a formal definition?
Well, that would be this. Backslash n. Backslash like this, I guess.
Yeah, a new line.
I would say it like that. And now this nesting of the parentheses is getting too much, so maybe put the long string item back and define string item as string item or
New line.
new
Yeah.
line.
And string item can be all Unicode characters except some, yeah,
Oh, source characters.
yeah.
And earlier I've defined source character to be any Unicode code point except null,
Oh,
which you cannot have in the source code at all, even in string literals.
oh, yeah, it does. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I need to check what happens if I run, if I
So
run such a
there was a
Python.
bug fix quite recently that disallows null characters. Let's see.
What happens if there was some null character actually? Python C import.
Source code string
There's
cannot
here.
contain null bytes. I don't know where that was. Let's see. 3.6. Okay, so it's pretty long. Yeah, so I think 3.9 is the earliest supported version. So yeah, you cannot have null bytes in the source.
Oh yeah,
But
I
I'm not
see.
sure if that also applies to files with null bytes in them.
Yeah, I just checked and it does, at least for Python version 3.13.
Yeah, it was
It's a
definitely
mobile
fixed,
version.
but I think it was fixed recently. Anyway, this is
I'll
documentation
check
for
Python
3.14, so we're
3.9.
fine.
I'll check Python 3.9. 3.9 TPy. Python TPy. Oh, it just read it. Wow.
Yep.
It just did read. Yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, let's put some code there.
that was a bug fix, but it wasn't backported.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I probably want to add a node.
I just opened up Helix editor and it has. Wow, it's beautiful. I need to use more Helix.
Helix editor. Is that
Yeah, it's
the
written in
command line
Rust. It's like Vim, but not really.
Ah.
Kind of a new approach to Vim. Yeah. Anti-gravity. Okay.
to say, to denote, to indicate. Right, so I will use these negative lookaheads, and I should also put them in the introduction. So in the introduction there's a list of like the metagrammar elements, and three of them are listed as extra complications for only the full grammar specification. And I guess the lookaheads now should go in the introduction.
I was kind of thinking that if you had the null byte in the file would be just read until the null byte.
That was my initial thinking before the fix with the syntax error appearing in the file. But no, it turns out it just ignored the null byte. It just ignored the null byte and just parsed the whole code. So pretty cool.
And you can still have like Control D or something like that. There's that Control D end of transmission. So 4. Yeah, I'm getting lost in my quoting. Let's print a number.
Probably escaping. Oh yeah.
Right. And well. If I put this in a file.
Oh yeah, you also need the right in there, yeah.
Yes. So this will work and print 3. And if I cat, okay, this works. But some programs might actually treat it as end of file.
Yeah, interesting if you could. Wondering if you can pipe the code to Python interpreter, like. I have no idea if that's possible.
Oh, this?
But like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, you can. So, what would happen if there was? Oh, you did it actually, yeah. What if this was a? Yeah, it works. Okay. So this has no special meaning here.
Yeah, it just works. There are other weird stuff you can put, like an escape code that clears your screen when it's printed out, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Backspace. We have backspace. Delete or something like that. No.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, not FF7. No, I don't know what backspace is.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not what we're here for.
Oh yeah.
So for the introduction, I probably want to make a few sections from this list. So there's the normal syntax element, then ones used in lexical definitions, which is the literal characters, and an informal description of the matched symbol. And so some definitions also use lookaheads. Lookahead blockheads, which is something I want to link to. Right, I want to link to the middle of this list. I don't think I can link to a list item easily. Switch. Which indicate that an element must or must not match. Position, but how to word this? Yeah, I should look in the PEP. How is it worded in here? Without consuming any input. That's interesting. Let's go with that now. And this is hard to explain, but I think with this, the string grammar is looking much nicer. So let's now align the bytes syntax as we did for the strings, and this should be the same. So string prefix is R or U, bytes prefix is B, BR or RB. Then we have the bytes content. This should be bytes content. And the bytes content is this. Bytes item, long bytes item, and actually find the bytes item as short bytes character. Bytes char or bytes escape sequence. And bytes character. This will not be source character, but any ASCII source character. Except backslash or new line. Now a long bytes item will be either a bytes item or new line. And a bytes escape sequence will be backslash and any ASCII source character. Right? As in all lexical definitions, white space is significant. So, how does that look? These should be linked, and we probably don't need two of these. And I kind of want to merge them because there's still processing going on after this is all matched. Right, for example, there are invalid escape sequences, and the only difference between these two things is this ASCII here. So maybe we can say that no, additionally, bytes can only contain ASCII characters. We don't need to repeat this whole definition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, especially considering that in older Pythons, the string and bytes was like the same thing, if I remember correctly. So would be kind of
well,
cool
sure,
to...
but then they had Unicode strings, so they had the same thing, except if you didn't put in a prefix, it meant the other thing. So let's do that. So then we have string prefix, or bytes prefix. And we could just call it string prefix and just merge it.
Yeah. Because it's, you know, it's a byte string at the end of the day, it's a byte string, right?
Yes. So we don't have bytes literal anymore in here. All right. I think that works pretty well. Now for the text around it. And maybe even like reorganizing the table of contents here. Or maybe let's do that
why
after numeric literals. Yeah, go ahead.
Source characters are like defined as characters that can...
Source characters are defined as any Unicode code point except null.
So anything that can actually produce the Python code, right? Basically.
Well, yeah, this is a character.
Well, I mean, kind of...
if you have an invalid UTF-8 sequence in your source code, then it's invalid.
Yeah. Because like the naming convention used here is like no case. Just just I know it's nitpicking, right? But the naming here is like words without any specific case, so no case. And source character is snake case, like
Oh, right.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe just like maybe source car, or I mean source char. Just wondering, but it's not important that much. Just I don't know. Like,
Huh. Can you hear me?
yeah, I cannot see the stream, but yeah, I can hear you.
Cannot see the stream. That's great. So
Yeah.
my power just went out. Let me
Oh.
turn it back on. I'll be right back. So I have a UPS exactly to prevent this kind of situations where I'm streaming something. So hopefully things are good. I hope I'm still streaming.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
One thing that is not on the UPS is all of my monitors with all my my like YouTube status and stuff like that. But everything looks fine. Alright, sorry for the interruption. Let's go on. So where was I? Oh, defining new line. Yeah, instead of saying new line, we can say it's a new line and then define it like this. Formally. I mean, formally.
Doesn't get a link.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Formally, we shouldn't be using this because in the introduction, we say that the text must match literally, right? So here we need to say this is character which is new line 10 decimal.
Wondering, what about carriage returns? How does Python handle that actually? Because there are variations across different platforms, right? Windows uses carriage return plus new line, and Unix typically uses just LF.
Well, that
Just new line.
is... Huh. How is that done in Python source code? I think that's part of the encoding.
Oh yeah, maybe. Should be. Or is it?
Let's see, that should be defined together with this source character or white space. Let's see. physical lines.
Oh yeah, it is covered. Yeah. Line
All
feed.
of these
when
forms
there's
can be used equally regardless of platform.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so if that appears in a string, too many quotes here, but so if I put in CRLF, and that of course that
You can use maybe you can use a three double quotes, or something like that.
maybe I don't need to
Make it easier.
quote everything.
Oh yeah, maybe you don't have to. Yeah.
And I want to print
I love that.
the string RN, but I do need to quote here.
Yeah.
So what did I just?
Oh yeah, let's run that.
No, let's put it in like this.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
And in triple quotes, right? And a wrapper of that. So what did I just write? Yeah, this.
Mm-hmm.
Just a new line. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yep.
Oh.
So
Nice.
so this is done at like the encoding level. So that's a good thing to point out. Thank you for that. Where is it? Where is it? Well, I guess not note, but we should just say that all of these forms are replaced by
bare bare line feed, right?
Yeah.
Bare ASCII line feed. So it's kind of it can be called normalization.
Regardless platform, all of these forms are replaced. Well, like I would say, replaced by.
Yeah, replaced more intuitive.
Replaced by
a single line feed character. Yeah.
end of input also serves as an implicit terminator for the final physical line. I love that. That's like
yeah. Implicit terminator, and actually, the good practice is to not rely on an implicit terminator and instead just always put a new line, but it's not always possible because
that's best practice for Unix tools. Python doesn't care.
Yeah.
And on Windows, traditionally, the CRLF is a separator instead of a terminator. even in text strings, like string literals. What's the correct to use here? What? Strings.
I mean, there are also some. Oh yeah. So even the old Macintosh form with only carriage return will be also truncated. I mean, replaced to.
Yes.
All right.
If you just have R.
Yeah.
So if you cat it, the R gets treated as return to the start of the line.
Yes, that's why this looks
and
like
if you
that.
run it, you just get a backslash. And I probably want to test this on Windows. I assume it'll be the same thing.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, could run it on a Windows runner in GitHub, maybe. See, if you have an easier option. Yeah.
I should. Well, I'm booting my Windows box.
Yeah, I should
come online.
I should make a tool, or maybe there is a tool that you can, just run something. You may like request something to run on a Windows runner, like on GitHub, and then just immediately get the output just from your shell. I'm wondering if there's something like that. There must be. I think I even saw something like that. Build. Some core dev must have. Yeah.
Ah, there we go. There's our Python. So now.
Oh.
Unclosed file, that's fine. And now run demo.py. Yeah, and we get back a new line from the R. Yes, just as I expected. So the Windows thing will give us. Huh! Two new lines.
So there are two, not one. That's not good, is it?
That is weird.
Yeah, that's bad. It should be just one.
Oh. No. We're doing this wrong. We should be writing a binary file.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Here. Okay. Ah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Because on Windows, if you open a file in text mode, I guess the \n gets replaced by the rn sequence. So yeah, this is correct then, even in literal strings.
Oh, so it's all -r, -n, which is why it gave us -n. Yeah. I guess that's why.
So we probably need to say in source files and strings, line termination sequences Oh, this does say even string. Well, this is source strings. I want to get rid of this can be used and specify what happens, right? So any of standard platform line termination sequences are replaced by a single LF character.
Yeah.
So let's say
I think it reads better. Yeah.
and the following end of line sequence. Oh, a physical line is a sequence of characters terminated by one of the following end of line sequences. This goes here. Now, regardless of platform, each of these sequences is replaced by a single LF line feed character. This is done even inside string literals.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't also cover that the line terminator you use, either Unix or Windows or Macintosh, it doesn't have to be consistent across the file or the string. It can be whatever.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to pick just one. You can pick whatever you want at whatever moment. Yeah.
Something like that. There's a better way to word this. Arch. Something like that. That's longer.
Yeah, I just checked, and yeah, you can use inconsistent. You can use it inconsistently, and it will be good.
Yeah, that
Although wait,
will.
yeah. Although one thing didn't work here, did it? Wait. Oh yeah, it did. It did. It did. Yeah, it did. Or did it? Wait. Hmm. I'm worried about one thing. Dash R, dash 2. One carriage return. Did I change the order? Maybe this. Oh, all right.
And I guess we should reference this here again. Oh, maybe we should make this part of the grammar.
Okay, I confirmed that it works. Cool. Okay. So I basically pasted this code to confirm. Wait. So I did this. My 3.13, and yeah, seems like it does.
Yeah,
work.
you can use any of those.
Yeah.
We can make this part of the grammar.
Yeah, it would be cool.
And then just refer to it from there. I guess we should link explicit and implicit line joining from there. Wow. That's a lot of stuff, and you're not very close to getting to the D strings. When embedding Python, source code strings should be passed to Python APIs using the standard C conventions for new line characters. So basically, when you use the C API for running strings, you're supposed to already have done this step.
Oh, good to know. Yeah. Wondering what would happen if you didn't make the step.
Well, your source code would contain extra CR characters.
Yeah. Would they be ignored though? If they didn't,
Do we want to try?
if they weren't, because like if you only have CR as the separator, and you don't use the line feed, it's not followed, right? It would be interesting, like what would happen, whether they would be merged into one line or
Let's do that.
just wondering what will happen.
Bidding.
It's like a very, very, super specific rare case nobody would ever probably run into in years, but
I mean,
maybe? Who knows?
That's exactly what the reference documentation should be about.
Yeah.
So this is... Okay, and we print here the wrapper of we don't need to import anything. We print the wrapper of rn, right? Now I just need to compile this. Yeah, and I need to share library for that. I think that's the invocation for that. You can tell I've done this before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, wow.
Terminated it's string literal, like, yeah, we need to use triple quotes here because we have a new line in there. And yeah, we need to close this parentheses. But now I'm doing Python mistakes, not C ones. Okay, that gave us just a new line.
Yeah, so it seems like it does the extra step. How about just -r? I mean just /r. How about that? Yeah.
Compile and run. Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Converted
you don't have
line.
to normalize yourself.
That's great.
Yeah.
When did that change?
So we can remove the paragraph.
Do I want to try this out with different versions of Python?
Oh my god, yeah, you have to,
I probably want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be Python 3.6 config lib or C flags D flags And that uses a different API. So I think we can just use initialize and ignore any errors. Yeah. And we need to set the LD library path to. Oh, that's found. Let's do one thing. Let's import sys
version info. Yeah.
And print sys. Like printing out is the one case where you can use. Oop. Ooh.
What happened? What was that? Wow.
Whoa.
Did it like crash your shell or?
Yeah, it looks like that.
That's 3.12.
That's
2.6,
yeah.
right?
And simple. That does look like it crashed my shell. Yes.
Okay, how about I just check? How about we check the blame of Pyron simple string and see maybe how the string is processed and maybe compare that to how the function looks.
Okay, we have 3.9 and it converts.
All right.
I think I have 3.6 around. And that converts. So
okay,
yeah,
so this must be very old.
This node
changed.
Yeah, I mean this is very old text. So this goes out.
Yay! Less is more. Yay!
So, compiling C code was worth something.
Yeah. Lovely. Yeah.
And that probably deserves to be its own commit.
I mean, if it works since 3.6, then you don't even like have to. You just backport to, right, to those that we still kind of support, and yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I hope I did all this correctly. No, this is such an obscure reference that I'm fine having it in this commit only. Alright, so where were we? How do we unwind from this? This
oh yeah, so we wanted to formalize the new line as a term. So on the input, we can have a union of LF or CRLF or CR, and it gets normalized to LF at all times. Yeah.
And I'm having second thoughts about this new line here. No, it's fine. It's fine. Where else do we talk about new lines? Triple quoted new literals, unescaped new lines are allowed. escape sequences, and so on. All right.
Why not just use better, like, oh, it needs to match the manual, right? So wondering if we just could use literals in the definition, or but I don't think we can we?
Well, it's done everywhere. It's done in comments, it's done in numbers, it's done in keywords, but only string literals actually care, right? Only string literals are places where you can use the new line and it appears in the actual code, right? If you stick a new line in a comment, it'll just get ignored. Now, okay, so I think we are done with the grammar here, and I think I want to move escape sequences and string prefixes to like a later section that's about interpreting the strings. And maybe I want to play with the table of contents at this point. Right, so instead of literals, we would have 2.4 string and byte literals with triple quoted strings, escape sequences, all of that jazz. And escape sequences should not be nested under string prefixes. Then we'd have F strings and T strings, and then numeric literals would have their own section. Yeah, let's do that. Strings and byte literals will be top level. Escape sequences will be at the same level as everything else in this section. And then numeric literals will go up a level. I kind of want to get rid of this literal section, but I think we have links pointing to that.
Oh, and also there can be some other places on the internet that point to. Oh, but if they are permalinks, like they are regarding some particular version, doesn't matter. Okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind.
Well, Python has two kinds of literals: strings and bytes and numbers.
Oh yeah.
Other constant values.
Oh well. Yeah, other constant values like ellipses, like non, like
Yeah, but that's not a
false,
literal. That's
true.
just a keyword. Let's find
Oh, is it?
where that is referenced. So that should be in the atoms here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Keywords.
Right. It's not a literal. Yeah.
Like that's names and keywords.
Yeah. So literals are just numbers. Numbers plus strings plus.
Well, that's that's probably something to put in this section. Like we can say Python has string and bytes literals.
Oh, I know why I mistook the term. You know why I did like confuse the term? I know why.
Which term?
It's like what literal. I mean, I call ellipsis a literal, for instance. The reason I did this is because I think I assumed I think I was confusing it with you know, you can use typing literal for like booleans, for instance, for true and false. So, yeah, so that's why. For me, like from the typing perspective, true is a literal, right? And false is a literal.
Yes.
From the typing perspective. Yeah.
What's the dot? Do we even describe dot in? No.
Ellipsis is a cool one. Yeah, I like ellipsis.
So is ellipse an operator or a delimiter? No, it's not.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do something about that.
Ellipsis is a singleton that's used like as a, I would say, because the real use cases of ellipsis is for I mean at runtime, just at runtime, it can be used in some like bizarre places like NumPy, I think, or maybe not. But at typing, it's more useful, right? Because it's used as a gradual form indicator, like in tuple annotations.
I mean, it's reused in a bunch of cases. But here we go. A sequence of 3 periods has special meaning as an ellipsis literal. So here we have an ellipsis literal.
Literal, yes.
So it's
literal.
It's documented here.
As a delimiter.
Under delimiters, yes. Well, under delimiters we also have the dollar.
Dollar? Oh. Okay, unconditional error, okay.
So we probably want to link ellipses to something.
Oh, and like ellipsis has actually two ways, right? You can use ellipsis as ellipsis or as three dots, so that's kind of funny here.
Yeah. Well, ellipsis is just a built-in constant.
Yeah.
Built-in constant. Yeah.
But you cannot assign to ellipses, right? It's like with true and false.
I think you can.
Oh, you can! Wow, okay, but you
Yeah.
cannot assign to true.
There's no reason to treat it specially. So the reason you cannot assign to true is just optimization. Right? Whenever the compiler sees true, it knows that it must always be true and you cannot assign false to it. It's just optimization. And ellipsis, you don't need to, well, you can't assign to ... of course. You cannot assign to ellipsis here. I like the very specific syntax error wording.
Not here, but somewhere else you can.
Oh, sure, you can do it. Ellipsis equals 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Well, this is still ellipsis, but I don't think you can assign to built-in stuff to ellipsis.
No, I believe it's on the interpreter part. It won't affect the print. Yeah. It won't affect it. Yeah. I feel you know what? I think that it can be. Wait, let's disassemble that. Let's run this. Yeah, let's do it.
You do that.
Okay, I'll do that.
I will link this.
Yeah, it's just return const ellipsis. So when I do this, it gets compiled to. Let me show you that one on Discord. So yeah, it's just the interpreter that will never allow you to like affect it. Yeah. So that's how it works. It's gonna be resume const. I'm wondering what will it look like in like in Python 3.4.15 maybe. I need to compile Python 3.15. cd Python git checkout main git pull upstream main. I really love the fact that I have git maintenance that keeps my refs in my local CPython repo fresh, and the pulling part doesn't take a lot of time. Okay, git push. Yeah. And now over the command configure. I need to make some scripts for compiling Python with my debug flags. G3? What were the like common no optimization flags? I think it was G0. No.
Just do O0.
Oh.
Dash
O0,
G
yeah.
and capital O0.
Yeah.
So I think I want to do this. A link to lexical ellipsis from wherever. Literals.
Yeah, dash G3 and O0, capital O0, dash G3, and yeah. And also I always give it a prefix in my home directory so it doesn't affect my system wide build. I don't really like that. Yeah, dash prefix local.
What? So in typing, what can you put in the typing literal?
Yeah, it should be in the Python specification. Typing.python.org. Yeah. Literal. Yeah, there are legal and illegal parameterization. Yeah. Yeah.
Literal int string bytes and bool objects, right?
Instances of enum and none.
Right. So you cannot put a ... in a literal?
Oh, I see that you probably
Nope, you cannot.
can.
Cannot have a literal ellipsis. Well, ellipsis. The ellipsis type only has one value, so
Oh, yeah.
I guess you could use type of ellipsis. Except I redefined my ellipsis here.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what MyPy says about literal with ... Like, if I annotate something with it, what will it tell me? Let's see. Touch tpy echo x literal from typing import literal dash n dash e literal blah blah blah. Okay. To tpy mypy tpy. Okay, uvx mypy tpy. What is that? Okay, yeah, you cannot put an ellipsis literal inside. Yeah. Wondering what if you did ellipsis like ellipsis constant name? What will happen? Same thing, yeah. You cannot put ... or ellipsis in a literal parameter. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's it. I'm wondering then what a what a dunder debug is, because it's a keyword, right? Dunder debug, or is it? Wait, let me check. Dunder debug. Dunder debug. I mean,
I wouldn't call that a
assign to
literal.
it. Yeah, it's not a literal. It's more like a variable. But you cannot assign to that variable, so it's a keyword.
Yeah, it's a keyword. Well, lexically, it's a keyword. Like non-true and false are lexically keywords. For typing their literals, so what's this, for example? An empty tuple.
Oh, and it's a singleton. Yeah.
It's a
It's
singleton.
an empty tuple.
I mean, if you have like 1, 2, 3, that's a list display. That I wouldn't call that a literal. That's like a bigger construction.
Yes,
but an empty tuple.
But if you have AST literal evil will evaluate that to a list. Yeah, it will be literally evaluated without running any code. Yeah. AST literal evil will support this.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to have this section to make it clear that these are literals in some sense, but they're not lexically literals.
Yes, and also the reason displays are not literals, you can have a list comprehension in a display, right? In a list display, you can have a list comprehension.
Right.
It's still a list display. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this pull request is getting big.
Yeah. It should be split. Yeah. That part about.
We only have one extra complication now. It should be split, but I'm not sure how to split it. I'll just put this, because in documentation everything's connected to everything else. Yeah, I hope it'll be reviewable as is. So yeah, for next time, I want to move escape sequences out into some section that deals with raw, that deals with like regular strings. Also, the string token should be the string literal. Do we have string literal anywhere else? Reference introduction. Lexically, these are all numbers. We need a better example here. Damn it. Yeah, and in expressions like literal, as strings or numbers, so that's already changed. And strings is string, F string or T string. So in here we want to say that string is the string literal, and it's not used anywhere else, so just use string. Right, we're out of time for today. Thank you for your attention and your input. That was great.
Yeah, thanks.
Very deep rabbit
fun.
holes on this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and next time more restructuring is coming. And hopefully we get to T
Yeah.
strings.
So many strings in Python, right? Wow.
Yeah. Need to make some more sense of these.
Yeah. Alright. See ya and have a
See you.
great. Yeah, have a great one.